Do you like bad acting?
Yeah.
Do you like horrible CGI?
Yeah.
Do you like stock footage?
Yeah.
And do you like puppets?
Oh, yeah!
Well, then we got the movie for you. We watched Sharkenstein. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Moon Goons! Don't you dare be sour! Clap for your world famous horrible horror podcast and feel the power! It's Shark Week! Yes, it is! And that means we are Horrible Horror Podcast, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. With me is my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, say hello.
What was that? I loved that. I don't know what that was, but I loved it. Were you chanting like a pro wrestler?
Yeah.
Or is it like a Southern Baptist like traveling priest or
It's
something?
both. It's the New Days opening.
Oh, okay.
from
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, I love it. You watch a lot more wrestling than I do. I know the old stuff, but I haven't really been getting into news. It's just because I just haven't gotten into it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's getting good again.
Yeah. I mean, it's always gonna have its ups and downs, and people are gonna be opinionated one way or the other. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like channeling the New Day there and having some fun.
Right on.
But like I said, we are Horrible Horror.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, guys. I kind of don't even know where I'm going with this opening, so I'm just gonna skip to what this week's drink of the week is for our Shark Week episode. It is the lovely Urban Chestnut. Oh, there it is, Schnickel Fritz.
Schnickel Fritz.
There it is. Check it out. Oh, Schnickel Fritz.
Urban Chestnut, thank you.
Local St. Louis brewery here. This is one of my favorite beers, and Aaron happened to bring it over to, this week.
A Bavarian Weiss beer.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
It's delicious.
Yeah, we got this free when we did the horror trivia a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
It was with Nachos McWerewolf. And,
Nachos!
Yeah,
Shout out to Nachos.
And, Cincinnati Jim, I think. Cincinnati James. Anyway, that's his buddy.
Okay.
So his real name is Eric, but he got the name like Cincinnati Jeff. I think it's Cincinnati Jeff.
Okay.
From Tom Atkins. It's pretty interesting.
All right. So yeah, this week's episode, it's Shark Week, or it is or was, by the time you listen to this, who knows? It's right around Shark Week.
Yeah, in the wise words of Tracy Jordan, live every week like it's Shark Week.
That brings us, that means just,
gotta do a shark movie.
Gotta do our annual shark movie for Shark Week.
And there's so many of them.
There's so many. Like, I can't even get through them. There's so many of them.
So many, and they're all right in our wheelhouse. So it's hard to choose, but I think we came up with a fucking doozy.
Yeah, we did. This one, Sharkenstein.
Sharkenstein.
The name, right? It's all in the title. I mean, you know what you're in for. Come on. But all right, so here we go. Sharkenstein. Before we get there, we have to plug CreepyCon again because we're going to be there August 23rd to 25th.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
For 3 days of convention glory and fun. So if you're there, come see us. If you're not there, come see us. Come make a little trip to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Check it out. CreepyCon.
Great people, lovely people. They'll treat you nice and come hang out with us.
It's very possible that Chris Samples will be joining us.
Mr. Samples from the show, yes. So we'll have a guest with us. You can meet celebrity guest Chris Samples.
Yes.
At the show.
Celebrity guest star Chris Samples.
Get his autograph. Take a picture. Drink a beer with Chris Samples.
Very approachable.
Very, very approachable guy. We're looking
Except
forward
now after hearing this, he's probably gonna be like a prima donna and be like, I don't sign anything less than $10.
Yeah, $5 minimum for headshots. Anyway, so let's go to Sharkenstein. This movie was released on August 16th of 2016. You can find it on Amazon. I'm not sure if there's anywhere else right now. I forgot.
Yeah, Amazon Prime for free.
Yeah, luckily for free.
God.
Written by J.K. Farlow and directed by Mark Polonia. The cast, nobody you're ever going to hear of, but we're going to talk about a few people. Our main girl, main character Madge. Weird fucking Madge.
Wasn't there a Madge in The Office who worked in the warehouse? I think
might
there was,
have been.
the warehouse characters.
Yeah,
are so
yeah.
they were dime a dozen, but as the Office got so famous, they gave them names and stuff. And I think one of them was Madge.
Madge.
Yeah.
She
was like the only female.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
You might have been. She's played by Greta Varkova. She's got 17 credits, pretty much all indie shit. She was in Camp Blood 7, It Kills. Then we have Duke, played by Ken Van Sant, 22 credits, including, you're going to see a real pattern here as I go through these. A very big pattern, including Camp Blood 7, It Kills, Camp Blood First Slaughter, Amityville Exorcism, Amityville Death House, Bigfoot vs. Zombies, Queen Crab, Jurassic Prey, and Triclops. Some wonderful, wonderful, high-quality movies.
Bigfoot vs. Zombies.
Yes.
I'm kind of interested in that one.
I kind of am too. I won't lie. I kind of want to look that one up. Then we have Coop, played by Titus Himmelberger, 9 credits, including Camp Blood 7 and Amityville Exorcism. Skip, played by James Carolius. I don't know how his last name, who doesn't fucking matter. 29 credits, including Camp Blood 7, Amityville Exorcism, Bigfoot vs. Zombies, and Land Shark. And then we have Klaus, played by Jeff Kirkendall. 39 credits to this man's name.
Ooh, he's the senior.
He's the senior, including, you guessed it, Camp Blood 7, Amityville Exorcism, Land Shark, Bigfoot vs. Zombies, and Amityville Death House, amongst others.
Nice.
So I'm guessing, I ran out of time to do it, honestly, then I just forgot. But I'm guessing most of those are probably also directed by this Mark Polonia guy, because we see that pattern a lot. Mm-hmm. But
directors or writers like to work with,
especially directors. Yeah. You see a lot, especially in the indie scene, a lot of the same people.
Look at Tarantino; he uses Samuel L. Jackson just about everything.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, he uses
Tim
a lot
Roth
of the same. Yeah, exactly. You know, Walken is in a lot of them too. Christopher Walken. Yeah. So he likes to go back to the well quite a bit.
And then who's the other? Harvey Keitel?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
All right, so let's dive into this Shark Tank of insanity that is this movie.
Shark Tank of insanity.
Excuse me. All right, so Sharkenstein. We open with text on a black screen that reads, "Throughout the ages, one legend has survived a span of time, never dying, never stopping, and is always terrifying." Then we cut to a countryside shot during a thunderstorm. The screen is covered in like cheap sepia-colored filters to make it look old.
Yes.
And then it cuts to what's supposed to be, we're assuming, Frankenstein's monster in a cave. And more text that reads, "Frankenstein monster, born of mankind's greed and desire to play God, to create life from parts of the dead." Then it's repeated shots of the monster just moving towards the camera with his arms out.
Kind of out of focus.
Yeah. But very, very robotic. Like, stereotypical arms out. Like, So then more text, and it says, "The monster has been killed and reborn over the centuries. Its heart and brain indestructible. No one could have predicted the most bizarre experiment yet," or something like that. I'm like, okay, that's a bit of a change.
Hold the phone there.
Back that up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember that from Mary Shelley or any of the other movies.
Is this canon?
Yeah.
Is this Frankenstein the monster canon?
I don't think so. I've never heard anything about Frankenstein's monster being killed many times over centuries and his heart and brain being indestructible.
Are we going like a Jason Goes to Hell kind of thing here?
Yeah, it's like, what's happening?
You know,
already?
like Jason Voorhees really isn't Jason Voorhees. It's just this weird demon sperm that
Frankenstein was never really, his monster was never really a monster. It's just a bunch of demon sperm parts they've made together.
Just a brain and a heart. That's all you need. That's all you need. You got Frankenstein.
Yeah. So now the film goes from the sepia color to black and white as we were taken to a submarine, and we get a POV shot through the periscope. The submarine rises up through the water as the words Germany 1942 are shown on the screen. And this is where you get our first taste of the horrible special effects. I mean, they're fucking laughable. These special effects, these CGIs, it's basically the Fisher-Price CGI. It's baby's first CGI.
This is such bad effects.
It's atrocious.
I don't say this often, and I'm glad they made something. Good for them. But I genuinely think we could make something, with the stuff we have and maybe buying a few things here and there, could make this movie or make it a little better. It's amazing how bad the effects are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we've ever had a movie where the effects are this.
We've had close.
bad.
I mean, we've always said these are the worst we've ever seen. But like, I remember Zombies will always stick out for having horrible effects, but those were like
way better. Leaps and bounds
this
better.
Movie makes
Monkey
Zombies,
leaps and bounds better.
This movie makes Zombies look like fucking Avatar.
Right.
It's insane how bad these things are.
Did you see there's a Zombies 2 out now?
Oh my God, is there really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, I know what we're doing in a few weeks. So next is basically a PowerPoint slide image of a fake building that looks way too modern to be built in 1942.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it looks like it's a stock footage picture of a modern building.
But it's like, it's weird. It's like they took a stock footage image of something and threw it on top of like a green screen shot.
Yes.
Because it's so like the background is real, but the building is clearly fake.
Yeah.
And it's so it's supposed to be 1942, and this thing looks like it was built in like 2015.
Right.
It's so angular.
I'm really afraid we're gonna keep hammering the special effects much.
It's
gonna run longer than the actual episode, the movie.
Oh, the movie's not that long.
It's like an hour 15.
Yeah, that hour 10, 12. If you get rid of the credits. So we cut to a close up of 2 glass jars / beakers. One has a human brain in it with AV cables sticking out of it. The other has what looks like a slab of beef, which I guess is supposed to be the heart.
I guess.
But it also has AV cables sticking out of it. We see 2 guys in lab coats nearby. And then on a medical table lies some fucked up looking eyeless corpse.
Yeah. Is that supposed to be Frankenstein's monster?
I didn't know.
It just looks like a prop.
Yeah.
Skeleton.
It's clearly a prop. It's not even a skeleton, but yeah. I didn't know if this is... They never really make it clear if this is supposed to be Frankenstein's monster or just some random dead guy that they're going to turn into a new Frankenstein's monster. Right. You don't know. So in come 3 dudes who are supposed to be Nazi SS soldiers, but look more like janitors with guns.
1942.
Yeah, 1942.
Wearing Nikes and Adidas.
Yep. I was going to get to that later, but yeah.
Yeah.
The main guy basically tells the dudes in lab coats that Hitler is interested in the research and wants it for himself and to hand it over. The lab coats refuse, so the main SS janitor shoots and kills both lab coat dudes, then orders his janitor lackeys to collect the heart and brain in jars.
And these guns look, I mean, they're obviously toy plastic guns painted black.
Yeah.
They look like Super Soaker type toys, like more modern Super Soakers, but still Super Soaker toys that were just painted black.
Now, one would think that if you're going to transport highly valuable, irreplaceable, and extremely fragile organs, you might take a little more care in packing them properly and making sure that they're...
This is the mythical Frankenstein monster, indestructible heart and brain. Come on, guys.
And making sure a little more secure. No, these assholes just basically just drop the 2 jars into a suitcase and close the lid. Like,
the suitcase has got shit in it.
Yeah.
It's got like an old sandwich, some papers from an interview they had that they did job they didn't get, like an old resume in there. There's other shit in there.
Yeah, speaking of closing lids, like they don't even put lids on the jars.
No.
They just throw the jars in there filled with liquid and just like... You know that's just going to get tipped over. That liquid's going to get all over their fucking clothes and underwear now.
Ruin their sandwich.
And then you have the brain and the heart just drying up in a suitcase.
It's okay.
They put no lid on it.
Sorry, Marshall. Don't worry. It's indestructible.
It's right. Why am I even arguing this then?
Yeah.
They're indestructible.
It's indestructible. Don't worry about it, baby.
Then why even put them in a jar? You just fucking throw them on the floor, stick them on a... Who fucking cares?
I guess to keep them kind of mushy.
I
think that's a scientific term.
Yeah, mushy. So the SS janitors leave with the case, and this is where I said it must be Casual Friday at Nazi base because this is where you clearly see them wearing fucking Adidas shoes,
Nike shoes,
jeans. Yeah. So we cut to the submarine lowering down beneath the water, and here's where all laws of physics have decided to just take a vacation. Because we see the water actually rise up instead of the submarine going down. It looks more like the blob is trying to eat the submarine as we see the horrible CG sub moving underneath the water then.
And did you notice that sub? It's not a fucking sub! It's not a submarine! It's not a submarine. This is just lazy. Submarines have that cigar shape, that rounded shape. Right? Especially 1942 U-boats. Are you kidding me? They don't look like fucking cruisers.
I don't know. I thought it looked like I didn't. Maybe I missed it, but to me it was like, it's submarine enough. I mean, it was long and narrow, and then it had like the
I'm
little...
not a ship guy, but I was like, that's not a fucking submarine.
So, and now we get like this Indiana Jones type map shot, which zooms from the East Coast, from like Europe all the way to the East Coast of America. So I'm guessing we're going to assume that the submarine went from Germany to the United States in 1942, non-stop, without being noticed, and made to the coast of America in the middle of World War II. How the fuck?
During the war.
What? No, what? No fucking way does this thing make it to the coast of America in the middle of war, non-stop, without being refueled. Like, what? So anyway, next we see a seaplane landing on the water and a view from the submarine's periscope, which again defies logic because somehow the submarine is actually higher up off the water than the plane.
It's a downward shot.
Because when the periscope shot, we see it is above the plane.
It's above the plane.
Like, how tall is this fucking periscope?
And if we keep pointing out all these mistakes that's littered throughout this movie, we're going to be here all night.
I know, but like, it blows my mind. Like, what? How's that fucking possible? And then we get another really shitty CGI shot of the submarine rising up out of the water. The Nazi janitors transfer the case to the plane, roll the opening credits. Now we're in present day at some beach city town, some coastal town.
And this is where we get stock footage shots galore.
Oh, yes, it does.
Holy shit. We get stock footage shots of, like, tropics. You know, like palm trees and looks like steel drums.
I'm glad you brought that up because this movie does an atrocious job of letting you, the audience, know where this is actually supposed to take place.
Where in the world are we?
Because there's zero consistency when it comes to the beach scenes.
None.
Because like Aaron said, some look like there's like oceanside beach with beautiful coastlines and palm trees and looks very Caribbean.
You should hear steel drums in the background.
And
get
then
some jerk chicken.
It looks like it's the Pacific Northwest. And other times it's like not even an ocean, it's like a river or a lake.
Right.
It's like you have no idea.
Sometimes you're in Maine eating lobster.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, you're all over the place.
There's shots that made me think of Humanoids from the Deep, which was Pacific Northwest. And next then you get the Caribbean crystal clear sands and beach.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff like, did they shoot that in the fucking Mississippi River right down the road? Like, where are we?
It's so crazy.
Where are we? So, like I said, we could be in Florida, we could be in fucking Ohio. It's that bad. We don't know. Anyway, the main town is named Catsman's Cove, I think, or at least that's the main area we're going to be around. Now we meet Sammy Hagar, who works for the Pearl Harbor Patrol in this tiny town. Honestly, his name's Duke, but he looks like fucking Sammy Hagar.
He does look a lot like Sammy Hagar.
It's fucking Sammy Hagar. Duke talks to his dispatch lady via his walkie-talkie about some boulders that went missing a few days ago. That's the setup. We cut to some filler underwater shots, and then, like, fucking an RKO from Randy Orton. We're hit on nowhere with our first visual of the Sharkenstein. Like, it's just, bam! I was like, okay.
Sharkenstein.
Yes, thank you. And holy fuck, Moon Goons. Words cannot describe this monstrosity or just abomination of CGI on this one. It's supposed to be kind of like a great white-ish shark, but the first thing you notice is that its head looks almost more human than shark.
It almost has like a nose.
Yeah, like an actual nose and human. It's the weirdest.
Like a brow.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's so fucking weird and odd looking. But you can't see that they did try to make it look like a shark version of Frankenstein's monster because it's got like staples and stitches all over.
Yeah, it looks like
pieced together from other pieces.
just like a classic Frankenstein monster.
And it's even got like the neck bolts on it. Like they've got neck bolts. Like,
it's been piecemealed together from other sharks. Yeah.
We jump to a lab of mad scientist Klaus, who has the brain and heart in the jar still hooked up to AV cables. The camera starts showing us various shots of the lab and whatnot. My favorite shot being of the quote-unquote surgical equipment, which consists of a pair of kitchen knives, scissors, and which I think are some really... Which is weird because the scissors, I think my parents have these same scissors.
They're like kitchen scissors.
Yeah.
They're kitchen scissors.
And like 3 really, really old shitty knives.
Old steak knives.
Yes.
They're like fucking old steak knives from the 70s.
These knives are older than we are.
No. These are your surgical tools.
No scalpels, no forceps, no bone saws, just crappy kitchen knives.
Nothing is stainless steel. Everything's like stained and dirty. and like wooden handles.
Yeah. It's the worst. And then he cuts to some random blonde woman walking down the beach. And again, like a fucking RKO, Sharkenstein just pops up and eats this chick, and it looks fucking awful. It's atrocious.
Horrendous. Oh my god. It's that green screen thing again.
Yeah.
So they take a fucking puppet. The Sharkenstein puppet.
I don't think it's even like a puppet, but yeah.
And move it across the green screen and then laid it on top of the image so
Yeah.
it looks like he's coming out of the water
and
eating the woman and going off screen. And then you don't even hear like
nope.
or or splash. It's just
Yep.
It makes a little noise like and she's gone.
And she's just gone.
Gone. And there's like a blood flash and she's gone.
Like the screen is covered in blood. Like it's
Holy God.
so bad. It's so bad, but it's so perfect at the same time. It's horrendous. So anyway, and this is where now we meet our main three characters as they drive to Catsman's Cove. In the car, Madge, the blonde who looks like a stripper that they just threw some glasses on and tried to make it look more bookish, and her two male friends, Coop and bobble-headed googly eye Steve. Googly Eye Steve looks fucking retarded and ridiculous throughout this whole movie. I can't stand this guy. First of all, he seems to have zero fucking control over his eyes and his head. And, because his head's just like it just bobbles all over the place. His eyes are going wiggly woggly everywhere.
And he looks like he's 45.
He's clearly like 45, but all these guys are like easily in their 30s to 40s, but they try to make them look like they're 20s but basically looking at what makes them look like here. Well, let's just put a hat on them and turn it sideways.
Let's put the hat on sideways.
Sideways.
Yeah, that makes me look young. All right.
Sideways hat. No,
but he's wearing like a button-up shirt and like khakis, and he tugs his shirt in. He can't let go of that 45, baby.
No, man.
He's got to go to the office later.
I mean, he looks like a dad trying to be hip in front of their kids. Like, oh, I know what hip is. I can be hip. I'll just turn my hat sideways.
Exactly.
But they're playing off like he's supposed to be in their 20s or something like that. It's so off-putting.
It's really weird.
It's so weird
because they're clearly older people.
I mean, for fuck's sake, this guy's got the Doctor Strange gray wings going through his hair.
Hey, I'm a gray-haired guy.
I got the gray wings too, but I don't wear my hat fucking sideways so I look like I'm 20. Like,
but this guy just looks ridiculous.
Besides, who does that? Who was the last time you actually saw somebody actually wear a hat sideways?
In any amount of seriousness? Never.
Not
even gangsters do that.
Like last time I think I saw that was like Fresh Prince, like in like 92 or 93.
Like that style it's just uncomfortable to wear a hat.
It is uncomfortable to wear a hat. I remember the kid trying to wear because like, oh, I'll wear my hat sideways. And it was the most uncomfortable thing. It would never stay on right. Like, this is just stupid.
Kind of pokes in the side of your head
like this is the dumbest thing. And anyway, so I hate Coop. Or Skip. It's Googly Eye Skip. I hate Skip so much.
Skip, not Steve. Skip.
And Coop, I think I mentioned it later, but there's a spot later where I mentioned it. It really stands out. But Coop reminds me of like a poor man's Paul Rudd. Like, really reminds me of Paul Rudd.
I can see that.
And Coop may be the best one in this movie.
Maybe. I don't know. Sammy Hagar is pretty awesome.
Sammy Hagar, yes, he is. So they pass a fisherman on the road on his way down to the dock to fish, and we cut for the three of them and focus on the fisherman. And he goes down to the dock fishing. And he's basically instantly killed by Sharkenstein.
Yep, same kind of thing that happened.
Sharkenstein.
Same thing happens. You know, the shark puppet comes out, flies past the screen. And all that's left.
No, this one is a little different. You might be forgetting because this one is fucking amazingly terrible. I guess.
Well, I'll let you take it, baby.
What's supposed to happen is that Sharkenstein leaps out of the water, eats the guy in one chomp as it jumps over the dock and back into the water. But what it actually looks like, thanks to the horrendous CGI, is Sharkenstein coming out of fucking nowhere, flying across the screen. And like a fucking bird or something like that. And then all that's left of the guy are his feet and bloody ankle stumps.
All that's left is just Johnny Brock's level or, Halloween store level feet and shoes left.
But it's so bad, but at the same time it made me laugh. I couldn't help but laughing. Next we see Sammy Hagar driving a boat out in the water, and we get a flashback To him talking to some random guy about finding a pile of various bloody shark parts that have been washed up on shore.
Yeah.
But then he says shark parts, missing people, all that's missing is a mad scientist, which makes me think, so is this not a flashback? Because he was just talking about missing people like it just happened today. But so I'm like,
is this a flashback?
Because it sure as hell looked like one.
I think it's just poor editing.
Because I'm like, fuck this director or editor, because they use the age old flashback like transition, like the water ripple effect on the screen. Like every movie ever that cues flashback,
clues in the audience that this is going to be a flashback. This took place later, or earlier in the day.
Yes, but here but if that's the case, then they just use it to take us from Duke Hagar in the boat to him talking to some random dude. I'm like, fuck you, movie. I mean, shit. Like, what's next? You can start using like the Wayne's World like wavy, blurry lines, just a transition from like Madge in the car to fucking Coop being all bobbly stupid head. I mean, I don't like. It's the worst choice of transition effect. It sends the wrong message.
This movie excels on all levels of crap, Marshall.
That it does. That it does. So. And it only gets worse from here, guys. It only gets worse. Because what we see next is one of the most visually confusing shots I've ever seen. So it cuts to what looks like a terrible PowerPoint slide of a raised house on stilts. Oh, man. But the house is so obviously fake that it looks like it was thrown together with various cut and paste images of doors and windows.
I didn't understand what I was looking at.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
But it also has no floor. And it looks like when they cropped the image of the house, they cropped it a little too much, like too much of it off, and at an angle. And so then there's like two other odd buildings next to it, which I'm not 100% sure that's not supposed to be one building or three separate ones.
I feel like this image needs to be studied.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it's almost like the magic eye. It's just so hypnotic and bizarre. You're like, hold on, that's a house, but it's not a house. How is it standing? How is it? It's got stilts, so maybe it's not. It's
the weird. Yeah, it's like it makes your brain hurt trying to count because your brain goes to what
it knows.
It does like video matrixing or audio. It tries to piece together things it doesn't know, but it can't because it's so fucking weird. It tricks your brain. Is like, I can't figure this out. Like, what am I looking at?
There's enough things out of place and missing that it just doesn't compute.
I put I said it's kind of like an MC Escher and Salvador Dali got together to design a house. Because that's kind of like that's the only thing I can just make.
I feel like we're giving him too much credit for this mind-boggling image.
Yeah, it's.
It's really weird.
It's crazy. So inside, this is the secret lab of Klaus, by the way, who we see sitting at a desk, talking into a microphone, telling Sharkenstein to return home.
So he's able to speak to Sharkenstein.
Yes.
To, go kill, come back, come on back now, buddy.
Yeah, go pick up my groceries for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's able to communicate with Sharkenstein.
Yes, he glances at one of his monitors and he sees the shark swimming back, which would mean that he would have he would have to have like submarine drones.
Subterranean, not subterranean. Submarine, yeah.
Submarine.
He'd have to have some sort of camera.
Submarine drones with cameras relaying the image back to him to see.
It's so funny because I even thought about that
with the transmitter.
And I was like, this is gonna piss Marshall off so much when I'm watching this. And I'm like, oh no, he's gonna go on this for about 5 minutes. And I'm just like, just let it go, man. Let it go. Nope, you nailed it. I knew you would.
And also, I guess, how would the shark even hear Klaus? The shark isn't wearing like headphones, on top, which means that how would the shark hear this? How would he hear Klaus?
Stupid image of a
shark in headphones.
Shark wearing
it's so dumb they might as well just put headphones on.
Wearing like Beats by Dre.
Yeah, you might as well. But that also means the shark can actually understand English. I mean, think about that again as well.
Sure.
Like, all this weird, crazy, fucking bullshit is going on.
And he is a German.
He is German with a German accent.
Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Nazi scientist.
Speaking
English.
Sure. Klaus goes over and talks to the organs in the jars, telling them, it's going to be soon, and you'll be my pretties. Aha, your time's coming.
The shark.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know where this is going.
Without the brain of Frankenstein's monster and heart of Frankenstein's monster, already understands.
Yes.
And already follows the commands.
I'm going to go on a major rant about this later. But yes.
And just decides, we'll put these in later.
Yes.
We're
coming. We have to save this for later. Please. Because, oh my God. It's going to be talked about in depth. We cut back to our main three arriving at the docks. Coop, this is where I said Coop reminds me of Paul Rudd. When Madge gets out of the car, we can truly see that the actress no way fits the part of this character. She has like very large tattoos on her legs, and then this threw me off.
She's like pop goth.
She kind of, and like for the longest time to the end of the movie, I couldn't figure this out.
If her knees were tattooed, or
yes!
if they were the socks.
She had her.
Yes, I do the same thing. Yes. I did the same exact thing.
Because I've seen people, most in the arms, but I've never understood this. I don't get why people do this or what this is supposed to symbolize or mean. But I've seen people who take like an entire forearm and just tattoo it black. Like there's no design. It's just it's like they turn their forearm entirely black. And I'm like, okay, I've seen that in arms. I don't get it, but I've seen. And that's what her legs look like. Her legs from like her ankles all the way up to her knees are just black. And then her knees have like cat heads on them,
yeah,
which I can't tell if that's tattoos or some crazy weird ass socks. And I don't know. You never know. It's just fucking weird and so out of place because like she doesn't. Either both the tattoos, if they're tattoos or if they're socks, neither one of them fit this character because she's wearing just a frumpy white shirt and
like baggy shorts
and baggy like, green olive drab shorts.
Yeah,
and glasses. She's not even dressed like she's a gothic punk or a tattoo person or sexy. You know, she's just like a weird bookish girl, but has these weird ass tattoos or these crazy ass socks. Nothing about this character makes any sense.
But she also hangs out with 45-year-old Skip who wears his hat sideways.
Yeah,
with like a shirt from the Salvation Army tucked into khakis from Target.
Yeah.
Everything about this group drives me nuts, and they drive on those fucking Kia Cubes. Those I'm like, I
hate all you guys already.
I don't know what's going on with these people. They're not exactly hateable, but they're so bizarre.
No, Skip's hateable. I hate Skip. Coop is the only one I think I can. And Coop's not bad.
And Skip isn't bad, but he wears his hat like a fucking.
You just want every time I see Skip, I just want to slap him. I want to slap him in his goofy, googly-eyed, bobblehead and hat-wearing face. So anyway, so they find a boat that they rented for some outing they're going on, and the captain, quote unquote, captain of this boat is Hoskins, who is a mute, and he's going to drive the boat for him.
Funny thing about that boat. It's the exact same boat that
Oh yeah, I was talking about that. Yeah, it's exact. They only had one boat for this entire movie.
Boat.
So Sammy Hagar or Duke Hagar's boat,
Duke Hagar,
and Hoskins' boat are the exact same boat. And one you can clearly tell because it's got the same same identification number on the side of it.
I don't know what they're called. I don't know.
I forget. I should know because
some sort of like serial number or identifying number. It's the exact same number.
And this is where you can tell the film is filmed in New York State. Now, if it takes place there, we don't fucking know. But it's filmed there because, again, the number on the boat. So they board the boat. They speed off. They depart. Pretty much as soon as they pull away from the dock, Madge suddenly gets all weird. Like, we're on the boat. Great. And then there's a snap of fingers. Boom. Madge gets fucking weird. She stares off into the water, and she tries to get all deep and cryptic. She's like, if you stare into the blackness of the water, it makes you wonder what if there is something down there. I'm like, first of all, the blackness of the water, if the water is black, you shouldn't be on it or swimming in the first place. And this water isn't black at all. The water is blue. It's very pretty water. It's fine. So you're just being over dramatic, bitch. Shut up. And again, it's not even black. Like, it's not, I don't know. It just bothered me. It's bright sunny day, crystal blue water. It's like, the water's black and it looks down. And,
like my soul.
Oh, my soul. Yeah. So, exactly.
She switches the, like,
heavy metal, death metal.
Deep goth.
Yeah.
Deep cuts goth.
Anyway, now we get like this montage of them chilling on the boat, swimming in the water, just enjoying the day. They get interrupted by Duke, who pulls up alongside them and somehow in the same boat. Some, like I said, Magic drives the exact same boat. But we said we never see them in the same shot, so that's how they pull it off. I was like, Duke, group. Duke, group. They're never in the same shot together. It just cuts back and forth. Duke tells them they have to cut their trip short to go back to shore, but won't tell them why. The group's like, all right, well, let us eat lunch first, and then we'll, finish eating, and then we'll head back to shore. And Duke's like, okay, that's fine. He drives off. We cut back to Klaus throwing chum into like a pool that has a fake shark fin sticking out of it. He's supposed to be feeding Sharkenstein, I guess. He tells the shark that they must make sure that the range on the control device is pushed to its limit. And then we see Klaus release the shark. It swims back off into the ocean, lake, cove, or wherever the fuck it's supposed to be at this point.
We don't even know.
We don't know. Back to Duke, who finds the bloody stump remains of the fisherman who got eaten on the dock earlier. He calls in for a scuba search and rescue team, which we cut to on the beach entering the water, along with a shot of the shark swimming.
The scuba team, it looks like it's beginners.
Yeah.
It's like a beginner stock footage shot of like scuba people going, like walking in the water, like falling over, slipping. And there's one bright yellow tank that I keep looking at.
Yes. But I will say now we get some actual, like, legitimately nice underwater shots.
Again, beautiful stock footage.
It's beautiful. These are the most beautiful shots in the movie, but it's clearly stock footage from some, like, the tropics, from, like, the Caribbean.
Exactly. It's like they're going
like coral reefs and saltwater fish. It's gorgeous.
Oh, it's a clownfish. Wow.
Yeah. But that gets ruined immediately by the shitty CGI shots of the shark swimming, followed by even worse kill shots of the shark eating each scuba person one by one. Somehow none of them seem to know that they're getting eaten alive. They're all grouped together.
And you just hear crunch.
You hear crunch and like screaming, and the water's filling with blood, but nobody's like, huh? What?
They do like a zoom in, zoom out, zoom in of the stock footage scuba diver, and they'll go, ah! And then you see like a red filter slowly like come on
the screen.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh God. I can't describe
it's beyond words how bad it is. We cannot do it justice of how bad this is.
I'm watching this almost with like pity, like, oh guys, really?
So after Sharkenstein kills them all, Klaus tells him to go 10 kilometers northwest, which takes us to another beach, where we see some random girls sunbathing on a beach chair, I noticed for some reason is facing away from the water, which I found it really weird because every time you go to a beach, the chairs normally face the water.
Again, this is all stock footage.
Yeah, but it's really weird. I don't know if this is stock footage or not.
This is stock footage because, again, they're in the tropics. It's like a beautiful beach. I don't know. It's this Asian weird. Girl.
I don't think she's Asian.
Well, she's got black hair, and she's
got black hair, so she's Asian.
Stop. She's black hair. She's short. She's got glasses on. I'm pretty sure she's Asian.
Wow, that's like
she's dark. She's
short with black hair and glasses, so she's Asian. What? Your wife is short, wears glasses, and at times dyed her hair dark. She is not Asian.
Her skin tone. God damn it. She's Asian.
I know I've said some really bad stuff like that in the past, but that's one of the worst.
That's not what I meant.
All right, women out there, if you're short with dark hair and glasses, you're Asian now. Start marking that on your legal documents. You are now Asian.
God damn it, asshole. She's Asian. She's like Filipino. I'm sure of it.
Anyway,
because this is important. Because when she jumps in the water and goes swimming,
I do know her swimming suit changes.
Her swimming suit, she's wearing like white bikini bottoms and like a yellow tube top thing.
Well, the first thing is she's wearing like a yellow, it's either very dark blue or black, a striped tube top, like, and then like black or dark blue bottoms. And because she looked at first like, oh, it's like a bumblebee swimsuit. But then when you see this girl swimming in the water, she's wearing like a white bikini.
And then when then they show like an above shot of a water, the girl's got brown hair, brown like curly hair, wearing like what I thought was like an American flag bikini. It was like red, white, and blue bikini.
I saw the white bottoms.
And it's like from a pool. It's not even from the ocean. It's like in the pool, in an actual pool, and it's a white girl. It's like white skin. That's why I'm saying it's like an Asian gal goes in the water, and then they cut to this white girl swimming. It's supposed to be the same person. That's why I got weird about race, Marshall. It came up later. God damn it. Because it was imperative the horribleness of the stock footage use. They couldn't even use the same person.
No, they did not use. Anyway, like I said, the girl gets eaten almost immediately, and like I said, I thought it was the same girl, but it's definitely
not.
It's two different girls.
Asian girl to white girl.
It's white girl to white girl.
No.
Tan girl to white girl, but yeah. Anyway, after the kill, Klaus orders Sharkenstein to return home and to kill everything in its path.
Spare nothing in your path.
This takes us back to our main group, our main three, just chilling on the boat. So much for listening to Duke and returning to the docks like they said they would. Something hits the boat from underneath. Coop suggests that they actually get back to shore. The driver Hodgkins tries to start the boat, but it won't start now.
Oh no, it won't start.
And we also see that bobblehead, googly-eyed Skip also has a shitty tribal armband tattoo. So he just gets worse. Worse. Everything about him is worse.
So hairy.
Hairy.
Like, no care.
It's the worst, like 1990s tribal armband. That was the big thing in the mid to late 90s.
Dude, you know that got him some puss back in 95.
96. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You ever see Barbed Wire? She's my hero.
Something like Goldberg. Anyway, sorry, side note here. I remember in college, I was at one of my fraternity parties, and one of our, the chances of him actually listening to this are very slim, so I apologize. But I remember this younger member, pledge, or I think it was a pledge at the time. He came up like, dude, I got a tattoo. I'm like, all right, cool. And let me see. And it was a fucking tribal armband. I'm like, dude, it's so cool, right? I'm like,
yeah.
I'm inside I'm weeping for this kid. I'm like, no. I'm crying on the inside. I'm like, oh God, you got an armband. I'm like, yeah, it's great. Like, yeah, it looks so tough. I'm like, oh, you poor chump. Like, you just, what the fuck did you do? And I mean, this was like 99 or 2000 too. So
those are in, man.
Like, but still, I'm like, oh, not the armband. Anything but the armband. So, anyway, so Hoskins starts working on getting the boat fixed. Skip and Coop suggest that the three of them swim over to a nearby island. So they all leap off the boat and swim off. Now, apparently this nearby island is in the Caribbean. So they're swimming from New York to the Caribbean, basically.
Sure.
They reach the island. Coop then magically pulls out a tote bag from his fucking ass, which has all their clothes in it all of a sudden.
All their clothes! And not like beach-going clothes, like all the clothes they had in the car.
Everything they've worn in the car.
Khaki pants.
Sideways hat. It's all back.
Like, how?
Oh, and by the way, they're completely dry.
Yes.
They go from soaking wet out of the water to completely dry in the clothes. And he somehow pulled with him in his magical ass tote bag that he just pulls out of nowhere.
They don't even try.
No.
They don't even try to give it any sort of like, we just got out of the water. No effort whatsoever.
Like, really? Why would you, like, I don't understand. Like, why not just film in the swimsuits? Like, they swim on an island. Like, so what? They're in swimsuits. So what?
And you know what? It's like, hey, if you got the bag, sure. But, I mean, they have their shoes.
Hats,
socks,
everything.
Everything. And everything's, like, pressed. It's not, like, wrinkly from pulling it out of an ass bag or ass tote. Ass bag.
Yeah, I just laughed at that, too. I was like, I couldn't stop laughing.
They're not even trying.
They are not trying. Because they didn't have this bag when they left off the boat and swam in the water. So we see Hoskins work on the boat. Sharkenstein bumps into the boat again. And then it leaps out of the water, jumps over the boat, and Hoskins snatches a pole out of Hoskins' hands before diving back into the water.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. Our main three wander around this island and stumble upon Klaus's lab. So, of course, they say, hey, let's go check it out. And we see them go inside. And this is where I said, how? how are they fucking getting to this house? Because
again, it's that house that defies logic.
Yes. First of all, when we see it, the house is on stilts in some kind of body of water. We don't know if it's out in the ocean, in a lake, on a pond. It's not a pond. It's too big to be a pond. But it's some kind of ocean with like big waves underneath it.
This really blows your mind.
Yes. And it's several feet above the water. And there's no fucking walkway or dock leading to it.
Or anything.
And on top of that, there's no fucking stairs leading to the doors. So how the fuck are they even able to get close enough to the house, let alone get inside of this thing? It blows all logic. There's nothing. I told you we were going to talk more about this fucking house.
Ugh.
And this is where it's happening. Because they literally try to go inside this thing, and there's no way to approach it.
You know what the funny thing is? That shot where they're standing there and they're shooting him, it's like, oh, look at that house. There's a house behind him.
Yes, there's
a house behind him. So it's like this isolated island. He's got a neighbor.
Yeah, he's got a neighbor.
This crazy Nazi scientist who's making Sharkenstein, he's got a knife. He's got a neighbor.
He borrows sugar from him.
Exactly.
From time to time.
Exactly. I don't know how he gets out of this stilt house.
I mean, I've seen plenty of houses on stilts, especially around here in the floodplains. That's fine, but they have ramps or like staircases. This thing has nothing. It's just basically levitating above the water. No dock, no stairs, no ramp, no floor. Really, I don't know how this thing is even standing. It hurts my brain. It will hurt your mind if you try to study this picture. So anyway, we cut to Duke Hagar and some random people who have found a severed, bloody hand in a field. He radios his dispatch asking if Hoskins and those kids have come back. Dispatch tells him no, which I find kind of odd and weird because there's no reason for her to know that. Like, people don't check in and out of docks and harbors. There's no boat traffic control like an airport.
Check
air
log.
traffic. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no, you're going to come in on this runway at this time from this angle. There's no, like, boat traffic control. It's like, you just come and go as you please.
I wouldn't know. So I really didn't have that big a problem with it.
I get that, but, like, I grew up on, like, the water, on the boats in the Mississippi and all that, and it's like, it's
not how it works.
It's not how it works. Like, there's no way. And also, granted, I've never been to coastal towns, like, big, like, stuff like that. I've never seen fucking harbor patrols and all this. Like, now there probably might be something like that in like really big coast towns.
Sure.
But still, like, most of that would be handled. A lot of that would be handled by the Coast Guard,
or like a private.
Or private.
Yeah,
Like if it's a private dock. But again, I've never seen like basically harbor police is what this guy basically coming up to be.
Again, I'm okay.
Anyway, Duke tells her to get his boat ready so he can go off and find him.
Same boat.
Get my boat ready. Back to the main group who have all entered Klaus's lab. And I love that this crazy German mad scientist also enjoys the weed. Because there's a giant bong just sitting on a table right there as they enter the room. Because they show shots of like, oh, it's so creepy and all dark. And then there's a bong sitting right there.
They even like comment on it. Yeah. They pick it up like, hey, check it out. It looks like kids' party here. Woohoo.
So the whole building then shakes as the gates to Sharkenstein's enclosure shut as it returns back to base. Coop wants to investigate and check. You know, if the building shakes when you close a gate, it might be a signal to maybe find a new home base. Because that is not structurally sound, and your base is going to collapse.
You got to stop talking about the structure of this place.
Coop wants to go investigate, check it out, so off they go, and instantly find the giant water tank that houses Sharkenstein. Sharkenstein leaps up out of the water. They startled. They kind of jump back in fear, not sure what they just saw.
What was that? Whoa.
Yeah. Now,
that looked like a shark made of other sharks.
Klaus pops up now, pointing a gun at them. We jump to Duke getting on his boat. Like I said, we've already it's Hoskins' boat. But the boat... Never mind. It's more ranting about the same boat. I'm just going to skip over it.
Okay.
I was saying it's the same boat. Like, this boat's supposed to be stranded out in the middle of the water, but yet here's Duke getting on the same boat.
Same boat.
Duke powers up the boat. He heads off. Back to the lab. Klaus demands to know who they are and what they're doing here. He then forces them to help him with his experiments.
So Klaus has got him dead to rights with a gun.
Yeah.
And he's saying, hey, you're going to help me with my experiments. I need, I'm going to have you help me.
Yes.
Okay. Gun drawn. Okay. Yes. Go
on. He tells them that Sharkenstein is made up from parts of the blue shark, mako shark, hammerhead, and great white, which it got both because none. Like I'll give the great white, but none of the shark looks resembles anything other than those.
Nothing.
You would think you'd give you're gonna be hammerhead, then give it the distinctive hammerhead shark head.
It looks
That's
cool.
the most dynamic, most recognizable thing about the hammerhead shark.
Absolutely.
Give it a hammerhead shark head. It doesn't do it. Like and it says it's got like fucking, I don't know, Ernest Borgnine head or something. I don't know. Not really Ernest Borgnine, but I couldn't think of this older actor. I couldn't think of his name. So
Bela Lugosi. That's
No.
Dracula. Boris Karloff.
No, it wasn't even a horror guy. He was one of the grumpy old men.
I'm going with like people who played Frankenstein.
No.
You're going like Don Lemon or Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau. That wasn't Lemon. Walter Matthau.
I'm going like classic
I
gothic
know.
horror.
No.
Like, nah, Walter Matthau, man.
So anyway, he then goes into exploitation dump mode, exposition dump mode, and fills them in on the history of his experiment and the Nazi experiments. He shows them the heart and brain of Frankenstein's monster, which are still alive. During this information dump, Klaus also tells them that there are many small Nazi factions and cells that just can't let World War II go. They just can't get over it. And they decided to merge together, and this Sharkenstein experiment, they believe, is their path to world domination. What?
People in Ohio.
Jesus Christ.
Better look out. Sharkenstein might get it.
They really did not think this plan through.
No.
Who came up with that? We will dominate the world if we create the monster shark.
I like how your attempted German accent with a Z. Z dominates the world.
Yeah. I never thought I was good at it.
I appreciate the effort, though.
No one will stop us.
Sharkenstein!
As long as, only if they get out of the water will they stop. What about land? Fuck that.
Oh.
Maybe stage 2 is Waterworld, where you melt the ice caps and Sharkenstein will kill
Rule
everyone.
the world!
But it'll be covered in water. Shut up!
Oh, God.
Anyway. And also they say somehow Hitler's brain was saved and is being kept safe somewhere.
Yeah, so
they throw that little nugget in there,
yeah,
too. I'm like, what?
Is that going to be the sequel? Hitler Shark?
Hitler Shark.
Hitler Shark.
Like, at this point, I'm like, oh, okay, are they going to put Hitler's brain in Sharkenstein? Is that what's going to happen?
That'd be
No,
weird. It
that would
grows
be-
a little mustache.
Grows a little shark mustache. He's going around Sig Heil with his little flipper.
Oh.
So, anyway, I thought that was a weird random
Yeah.
nugget. Like, oh, yeah, by the way, Hitler's brain, we saved it. It's
By the
still
way,
alive, too.
We got that.
So Hitler is also Frankenstein? Like, how is that brain still alive? Like, what? They don't explain anything. Jump back to Duke Hagar for a quick shot of him out in the water as a storm begins to roll in. And then right back to the lab where our main three assist Klaus in transferring Frankenstein's heart and brain into the shark.
Okay.
At this point, I'm confused, and we're going to talk about this shit. This is where we're going to talk about this. Because up until now, and we're probably a good hour or 45 minutes into the movie, we've seen the shark obeying orders, killing people, already looking like Sharkenstein.
Doing everything that he
Klaus,
commands.
Yeah. But now they're putting the heart and brain in, which I don't get this. Like,
Are they
what?
how is this making him better? Because he seems to be pretty badass following your orders.
yeah.
So how is this an improvement? How is this going to make it?
I don't get it at all. So they transplant the organ and zap Sharkenstein with electricity, which brings it back to life, even though it was already alive.
And this is something. This scene when they're doing the surgery and everything like that. Klaus has got his hands full of brain and hearts and putting it into Sharkenstein.
Yeah.
Sharkenstein. He doesn't have the fucking gun.
No.
So
that's a good
the
point.
three hostages are not having any sort of gun. They have access to knives. They can overpower Klaus. Klaus doesn't have a gun anymore.
You're right.
They can be like, no, we're not going to help you with your Nazi experiment. We're going to knock you in the water.
Or take the gun and shoot him, stab him.
Beat the shit out of Klaus. There's 3 against 1.
Great point. As soon as I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly where he's going, but I forgot that I didn't even think about mentioning myself. These fuckers, it's their fault. Everybody that gets killed from here on out is on them. Because they could have easily just killed Klaus. Easily killed Klaus. And
or at least incapacitate or run away.
Kill him, incapacitate. They could have easily stopped this and put a stop to this experiment. Kill Klaus. Leave the shark would die out of the water anyway. Eventually. Yeah. Experiment over. Threat over. These fuckers are responsible for everything that happens from here on out.
This could have easily been solved with just one more cast member. Just like if the German scientist had an assistant. Or a guard, or like an SS officer, who just would stand in the corner with a gun pointed at him like, help him out.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And instead, this defies all logic.
Yep.
Why'd I even try?
I don't know.
I just said this defies all logic to Sharkenstein. The fuck is wrong with me? God damn it.
But the point is, like, they finish it and roll Sharkenstein back into the pool, and Klaus says that he will control the shark, talk to it, and it will listen. And that's like what I said, like, and I brought in like all caps and bold on my nose, like, why do this fucking transpin already? If it already listens to you.
Yeah.
You already control it perfectly at that. Why fuck with this? Like, I don't understand this at all. Like, it makes zero sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Like, okay, you have a perfectly good shark. Put the heart and brain in something else. Put it fucking gorilla Sharkenstein, and then you'll rule land and water.
Gorilla Stein.
I don't know. I think fucking
something.
Or how maybe another human, and then there you go.
Yeah.
It makes zero sense. So Klaus then detains the 3 of them in some dirty basement room. We next see Klaus sitting at his desk talking to Sharkenstein, who we see on his computer monitor again. He's telling the shark that he is Klaus, that he is its master over and over and over again. And I found it visually it's kind of funny because Klaus is using 2 different microphones. He's got he's got a headset one on like a telemarketer wear. He's got like a little headset mic on, or like a gamer would use. But then he's speaking into like a handheld mic at the same time. He's got 2 microphones. I'm like, what? Like, why are you talking to 2 microphones? Like, one would be enough. Like, you were using one earlier and it worked just fine. What's the other one for? So Klaus orders Sharkenstein to go kill Hoskins. And now the movie suddenly turns into a comic book? Because as Sharkenstein swims through the water towards Hoskins' boat, comic book text boxes appear on the screen saying, on the attack.
Yeah.
And like, what? It just became like a Marvel comic book.
Out of nowhere.
I'm expecting Sharkenstein to leap out of the water and going to say, pow, chomp, bang.
Chomp.
I mean, like, what is happening? Klaus, we are talking about. Okay, so now I fucking love what happens next. Sharkenstein, I fucking love this so much. I'm sorry. I'm trying to brace myself for how.
Oh, God.
Sharkenstein begins to ram Hoskins' boat. Like, headbutt, he's ramming it. And we see Sharkenstein he comes around for one final ram. But this time, he doesn't just ram the boat. Oh, no. Sharkenstein rams the boat so goddamn hard that it causes the boat to fucking explode. The boat explodes, and you see Sharkenstein I just have this image of him charge his boat, and I don't know if his dorsal fin or something is made of adamantium, it just cuts the boat in half as he rams through it. The 2 pieces of the boat explode as he's charging through the fire, and it's insane. I've never seen a shark ram anything so hard it explodes. It fucking explodes. I love it. So even though Sharkenstein killed Hoskins like it was told to, Klaus is not happy with this because even though he clearly listened to his orders, saying he orders Sharkenstein back to base, telling that it's attracting unwanted attention. What do you think was going to happen?
Well, everyone was already aware that there's this crazy thing happening.
Yeah, body parts are showing up. People are dying.
Fucking Duke Hagar is on it already.
What do you expect was going on? You made a giant mutated shark of other sharks.
Put Frankenstein's brain and heart in it.
And for the sole purpose of killing people.
And you're like, whoa.
People, and now you're like, whoa, dude.
Easy, buddy.
Easy, man. What do you think was gonna happen? This was your plan to take over the world, remember? And now you're like, wait a minute.
Easy, buddy. That was uncalled for.
Like, you can't take over the world without breaking a few eggs here, guy. Like, what are you gonna do? So, anyway, once back in the holding cell, Klaus grabs some kind of like electrical prodding stick, zaps the water, trying to electrocute Sharkenstein into submission. Well, you can imagine that doesn't go over well with Sharkenstein, and it doesn't go well for old Klaus, because Sharkenstein...
Sharkenstein. I keep thinking of like Berenstein Bears.
Sharkenstein, I'm
like
sorry.
He's Jewish. He's got like Woody Allen glasses on.
Ben Stein, Bueller. Sorry, Sharkenstein. Sharkenstein leaps out of the water, eats Klaus, then swims back out of his holding cell, back out into the open water.
So, boom. Klaus is gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. Way to go, pal.
Yeah.
You had a perfectly good shark before you put Frankenstein's head.
Yeah, totally fine. We come back to our main three trying to escape the room they've been shut in by pushing. They're trying to push on a pull door. That's how they're trying to escape. There's a quick shot of Sharkenstein.
There it is.
Under the water, breaking a piece of wood with its face, which it breaks with force that causes the building to shake. Well,
he already blew up a fucking boat with his face. This is like, okay, I believe it now.
But it's
sure.
like, it's supposed to be like they figure out that the shark is going berserk and is ramming and breaking on the support beams, holding the building up. But what you actually see is just like the shark breaking like
a stick,
a board.
Yeah,
it's like
a board. Like
you would see like a guy in a cry demonstration, like chopping a piece. It's just a board that he's like ran with his face. There's no beam. There's no support. It's just a fucking board. So I guess Sharkenstein, Stein, I don't know, whichever the shark is successful in doing, because the movie just cuts to all three of them suddenly underwater.
You're like, oh no!
This shot is so fucking funny, but horrendous at the same time. I swear, what they did is they just filmed the actors standing in the room and from a green screen or something, holding their breath with like their arms up like they're sinking under the water, going, "Ooh." And then they just slap some horrible CGI water on top of them. It's so bad, but it looks...
But you love it.
I love it so much. It's the worst. It is the worst. It's this is serious, like this shit you see like a 5-year-old on YouTube doing or something like that.
Yeah, this is really bad.
Now, all three of them somehow manage to escape their sinking death building of doom, because we see them next treading water out in the lake or cove or whatever it is.
It looks like a lake to me.
It's clearly a lake. But, like, how'd they get out? They're trapped in a room, and next thing, they just not just get out of the room, but they manage to swim through the building as it's sinking
and
escape. What?
Sure.
So... Anyway, there's a quick shot of Duke driving around in his boat, and in the shot you can actually see Hoskins' flannel shirt wadded up at Duke's feet, which I loved. I mean, seriously, did they just film a Hoskins scene right before this one? And afterwards, Hoskins was like, dude, I'm getting hot. I'm just going to take this shirt off. I'll leave it right here for later. And they just rolled the camera. Because you see the blue and black flannel shirt that Hoskins has been wearing. It's wadded up at Duke's feet in this shot.
I must have missed that.
I fucking loved it. Died laughing. Anyway, Sharkenstein... Stein, right?
Yeah,
right.
You nailed it.
Shows up, eats bobblehead googie-eyed Steve, Skip, which I'm thrilled about. I'm so happy Skip's just dead.
So again, same thing. They kind of just do it. Zoom in on him, red filter. You hear crunch, crunch. He's like, ah!
And then keep in mind, we just saw these guys trapped in the building, fully clothed, in their clothes that they magically got out of the magic ass tote bag. But in this shot where Skip dies, they're still in the water. They have somehow decided in their escape, in their desperate panicking. It's time. We have to get out of this sinking building. We're drowning. But we have time to change back into our swimsuits.
All of them are in their swimsuits.
All of them are back in their swimsuits. When did they do that? So, and that's not even the worst part. It gets fucking worse. Next, we see Duke pull up and help Coop and Madge into his boat. When he pulls them up and into the boat, both Coop and Madge are completely dry. They're fucking and fully dressed again.
And clothed.
Dry and dressed again. What? What is happening? Oh my god, what the shit, man? I just can't. The continuity. It's so. How did nobody check this or notice this? It was like how hard to be like, you're right there on the water. Just make them wet.
Just think
like, are they like the Wicked Witch from the Can they not be wet? Like, what is happening?
They give zero fucks, man. They don't give a shit.
Duke kicks the boat into high gear. They speed away.
Oh, they speed away? Because now the next scene is them escaping Sharkenstein.
Sharkenstein is closing in.
Go faster. This is all she's got. As they're barely cruising along. Because they don't want it to get they don't want the engine to be too loud to muffle out their mics. I bet you that's exactly why.
That's what it is.
Because they're just like, hurry up, let's go. And they're barely moving. They're like coasting.
The mic, is a good point, but it could also be, this is from a boater's perspective, there could also be like there's like some boating areas have limits, you can only go so fast.
Right.
So,
but
I doubt that's it because they're not in the marina. It's not like a no wake zone. It's just
pathetic.
It is pathetic.
It's pathetic. Hurry up, this is all she's got. And it's like, it's not even creating a wake.
No. So they make it back to dock where Coop and Duke mouth off to the shark and while giving it the finger, like, fuck you, shark. We made it back to the dock. Which again, Sharkenstein doesn't care for because
doesn't take too kindly.
It doesn't. It leaps out of the water and onto the dock. Holy fuck, guys! I keep saying it gets worse. It gets worse again. From here on out. Whoo! Oh boy! Here we go. So it leaps up on the dock and sits with like a fucking like burrito or something. Like it looks like a bratwurst, a blue bratwurst on a dock. I don't know. It's weird, but
I like blue burrito.
Burrito. And then it gets struck by lightning repeatedly, right in his neck bolts, right in the neck bolts. And holy shit, guys, we're about to go into a whole new level of crazy because by getting hit by the lightning causes Sharkenstein to mutate into a fucking, I don't know, the shark fucking grows arms.
It basically becomes a street shark.
It does.
Yeah, it becomes a street shark.
It grows arms and I guess kind of legs too. And not only does it mutate, but it also seems to get pumped full of steroids or Bane's venom. Because Jesus Christ, this thing is jacked.
He's got guns.
He's got massive fucking jacked arms. He's like, boom.
Guy doesn't skip a day at the gym.
Duke conveniently just finds a torch on the dock, which, who keeps a torch on a dock? That's the worst place to keep a torch, on a wooden dock. But there's one there.
Sure.
He lights it up to keep the shark at bay because, Sharkenstein hate fire.
Hey, man, Sharkenstein's giving me some gym inspiration. I need to go back and pump up my guns. I need to...
Sharkenstein dives back into the water. Duke says, we have to go after it and kill it. And Coop's like, fuck that. I'm getting out of here. I'm with you, Coop.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But Madge tells Coop that, no, they have to stay and kill because we have a duty to stop it.
We started it. Let's stop it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So now we cut to Sharkenstein taking a nice leisurely stroll through the countryside.
Yeah.
He goes from in the water, now he's out in the middle of like some country field, like wildflowers and tall grass, and it's like a pristine countryside.
Yeah. It's like something you see in the Midwest. Yeah.
Or like the British countryside.
Now we're in the Midwest.
Yeah. Who knows? And he's just kind of bopping along through the tall grass and the flowers. It comes to a small
looking
farm.
for the nearest gym.
Yeah. He's got to get swole on. We cut to some small farm where it eats a cow. Okay.
in horrible CGI fashion.
Yeah. And then we cut to a woman, some mid-aged woman holding a shotgun, telling Sharkenstein to put her cow down.
Get away from my cow!
I'm like, really? Really? I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't think there's any way this woman, or anyone for that matter, would see this fucking monstrosity, this monster eating a cow, and choose to confront it instead of running for its life, screaming.
Go on, get
out of here! Like, what? It's like you're trying to scare off like a fox from your chicken coop or something. Like, no. This is a giant shark monster. It's like 9-10 feet tall, eating a cow.
Eating a fucking cow.
Like, get out of here.
Get.
She tries to shoot it, but I guess she forgot to load her gun because all it does is like click, and then she just kind of casually walks away. She doesn't like, oh shit, and rushes like click, like, oh, that didn't work. I guess I'll just go back inside now.
She's never held a gun in her life. She's like barely holding it. She's like, it's like, and she's like, that'll do it. Like, goes off.
We cut to Duke and Madge trying to track Sharkenstein. Then it cuts to Coop wandering around the woods on his own, which makes zero sense.
No.
Like, Coop's like, I'm getting out of here. You think, go back to the fucking car and drive away? That's what I would do. No, he says, I'm going to go walk in the woods for some reason. And he ends up face to face with Sharkenstein, who promptly eats him.
Yeah, again,
he's dead.
It's just zoom in on him, red filter, he's dead.
Madge and Duke hear his death screams, and they rush off to
like,
try to find him.
Well, Coop's gone.
Yep.
And like, Madge is supposed to be friends with Skip and Coop, and she does not give a fuck.
She does not.
No one cares.
No one really,
that these guys, these main characters of ours, who we've been on, a journey with, some kind of journey, have died, and they're like, bah!
Nah. Yeah, that's
fodder.
There's zero emotion in it. We jump back to the farmer woman who has now managed to wrangle up her own angry mob of townsfolk.
Complete with
torches,
pitchforks,
axes, and guns.
Other guns.
Yeah, they're all armed with various weapons. She leads them off to hunt down Sharkenstein.
My favorite is the girl with the unlit torch.
Yes, you wouldn't bring that up till later.
And her arm is in a sling.
Yes.
It's like the worst mob member.
Yeah.
She's got one arm in a sling and it's an unlit torch and she's like marching around with.
Oh, I had to think about that. So now we cut to this photo shoot featuring fictitious ex-porn star Bonnie Boom Boom.
I forgot about her. It's so stupid.
This scene is the most pointless. This whole movie's pretty pointless, but this scene makes zero fucking sense.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's just an excuse to add another kill, I guess, but it's so dumb. So Bonnie Boom Boom sitting like a fold up like director's chair, like along like a lakeside or something like that, and there's like hack photographer trying to take pictures of her.
She's got to be 60.
Yeah, easily. And
she's like in lingerie with like feather boas.
It's not even lingerie, it's just like a flower. It's a flower dress with a boa.
But her tits are all pushed up.
Yeah, tits are all pushed up.
And she's like posing, and the photographer's like, this sucks.
Yeah. So of course Sharkenstein shows up, spoils the photo shoot by immediately eating the photographer, and then goes face to face with Bonnie Boom Boom, and then backhand bitch slaps Bonnie Boom Boom with its fin, sends her falling to the ground, and we cut back to Duke Hagar and Madge. Like, what? The Sharkenstein bitch slaps an ex-porn star.
Fin slaps.
And then that's it. Like, you don't see her die or anything. You're like, what is... I don't get it. Bitch slaps this girl.
I don't understand.
I don't get this either. I don't understand it at all. So we cut back, like I said, Duke and Madge. She reminds him that the shark is Frankenstein's monster's indestructible heart and brain. Duke says nothing's indestructible and tells Madge to think back to the movies and how they killed the monster. I'm like, whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. So now all of the Frankenstein movies throughout history are now documentaries? Is that what they're saying? How did they kill the monster in the movie? Like, you're really buying? Like, these are documentaries now in this universe? Like, what? In this reality, Frankenstein's monster is real.
Yes.
Indestructible and apparently common knowledge, and they've made movies documentaries now featuring Frankenstein. Like, my mind is on overload trying to figure this out.
Oh, and she breaks it down.
She does. She breaks down like each and every Frankenstein movie.
She breaks
ever
down
made.
all the Universal Frankenstein.
She doesn't really break them down, but she lists them off.
Yeah,
she lists everyone.
lists them off, and then she lists off the Hammer films.
Yes.
And you can tell she's very proud of this. Like, I'm super into old horror movies, and
which doesn't fit her character. Like, if you want to make
does she even have a fucking character?
She really
though?
doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Just a fucking numbnuts.
So, I'm just shocked by this. Anyway, so either way,
you sure do know your movies.
Yeah. Either way, Madge starts writing off every Frankenstein movie made. We talked about that. Duke ends up coming up with a plan that involves trapping Sharkenstein and setting it on fire in an old church that just so happens to house a bunch of old munitions left over from dredging the channel. Oh, and he plans on using the angry mob as bait, by the way. That's part of his plan, too.
He's using the angry mob to drive Sharkenstein into the...
Or somehow lure him to the church with the angry mob. Speaking of which, we cut back to said angry mob setting up for an ambush for Sharkenstein, which doesn't go as planned as Sharkenstein, quote-unquote, swims through the brush, picking off a few townsfolk one by one. And that's what you see. You see basically his dorsal fin swimming through the tall grass and like just pulling people down on the grass.
They're all together.
They're all together.
Pick them off.
I don't know. Yeah, there's like two or three standing right next to each other. There's like one by one.
You see them fall over and get drug off camera.
Yeah.
And you're
and nobody notices it.
Can't this movie end?
So the mob does finally spot Sharkenstein, opens fire on Sharkenstein, which follows is a symphony of shitty gunfire sound effects with terrible gunfire special effects. One of the guys is firing a gun that I'm pretty sure I'm not even sure what kind of gun this is supposed to be, because the barrel is so large that it looks like a small t-shirt cannon or like a stormtrooper's blaster from Star Wars. Like, it's so big. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to be?
It's so dumb.
Anyway, Sharkenstein, he retreats. The mob goes after it. Cut to the old church, which is just like the lab is another shitty Photoshop mashup of two buildings. Like, it's an old wooden, like, white wooden church, which is fine. But then, like, on the side of it is, like, this weird, like, concrete, like, silo or tower that is mushed up against this thing. It's
so strange.
What architect is designing these buildings in this world?
Who's deciding to use these images?
That's another thing.
There's such easy images you can use.
Like,
and why make it so convoluted and bizarre?
Okay, it's an old church. Great. It's an old church. You don't need to smash, like, a fucking weird-ass concrete tower on it. Like, just give a church.
It's so weird.
I don't get it. So, Duke and Madge, they go inside, and once inside, we clearly see that they're not in a church at all, just like an old house. They instantly find, you know what first thing they find, without any problems even looking? It's just like right there in front of them. A box of fucking dynamite is what. Just sitting there, right there for them.
That look suspiciously like road flares.
Yeah.
It's a box of road flares, like dynamite. Like, no, man. It even says on the side, emergency flare. Assholes.
The two of them flirt a little bit now while setting up the dynamite.
We got like a montage of them setting up the dynamite.
And flirting and being all. Once done, they leave the church and hide behind some bushes. Duke takes out a pocket knife, cuts his arm in hopes that Sharkenstein will pick up his blood scent.
I forgot about that part. And what follows is even worse.
It is worse. Because afterwards, Madge's like, hey, I could have saved you the trouble. And he's like, why? He's like, oh, because I'm on my period.
Oh. And the period joke comes in.
That's...
And I think Duke even goes, gross.
He does. He does. He says gross.
This movie's so dumb.
Would you even put that in? I guess you're trying to make a joke, but Jesus. Come on.
You know, the writer was just like,
this is going to be funny.
Girls get periods.
who was the writer?
Who?
J.K. Farlow was probably like a fucking 14-year-old kid who wrote this. All
right.
Next is another standoff between Sharkenstein and the mob in an open field. Again, they open fire on it, and again it retreats, and they go after it. During all these mob shots, you can know this is where I wrote about the older woman dressed in black, and it wasn't until later I realized it was a torch. Because I'm like, well, she's just carrying around a fucking stick.
It looked like it, yeah.
And like, she's
it's unlit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's just carrying around a stick, and I'm like,
totally.
And like this, I put on my notes. It doesn't really matter, but I wrote. I find it humorous because everyone else is armed with guns, axes, and sledgehammers, but she just has a stick. And the end of the stick is black, so I'm like, okay, here's what I think happened in my mind. At this point, I wrote, I think it was supposed to be a torch, but they forgot to add the CGI fire to the end of the stick during the post, so you ended with just a woman carrying a stick.
Exactly.
That's what I think happened, but then later, we do see him light the torch later.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
They had a torch and waiting.
The torch, so they're just carrying around the torch unlit the whole time. Like, why not just light that fucker in the very beginning? Like, why are you carrying around a fucking stick? Like, that's useless.
So she only has one arm.
Still, somebody else can light that shit.
Sure.
Anyway, Madge spots the mob and Sharkenstein coming their way. Duke tells her to go hide, and under no circumstances is she to go into the church. She kisses him on the cheek and goes and hide, while Duke calls out Sharkenstein and baits it into chasing him into the church. Now, this church chase scene, say that one 5 times fast.
That is a tough one.
Is amazingly awful, and there's a part of me that kind of fucking loves it too. The mob shows up outside, and it turns out I was right about the old lady in the stick, because this is where they light the torch at this part. The farmer lady orders the mob to set the church on fire. Madge pleads with him not to do it because Duke's still in there. The mob don't care. The older lady tosses the torch. Now, this church must be made of fucking kindling or something, because it goes up in flames instantly. Whoosh. From one torch being like thrown at the side of the building. No building goes up that fast. This thing is like, boom. Like maybe it was covered in gasoline at first. It just instantly engulfed in flames. Then we see Duke and Shark. Oh my god. Okay, Duke and Sharkenstein are fighting on the rooftop.
On the roof of
now.
The church, and they are so big.
I know, this shot is so goddamn bonkers because it's so funny looking. Because first of all, Duke and the shark look like, first of all, it looks like they're just floating in the sky.
Yes.
Because you don't see them you just see like a close up from like their shoulders up, so it looks like they're just fighting in the sky.
And they're
gigantic. Duke's like 20 feet tall now.
He's just so big because they show the church, and they're just so big on top of the church.
He's 20 feet tall now. On the top of that, the horrible CGI fire that, again, it's like they just laid it in the foreground on top of them. So they're not really on fire. It's the same shit we made fun of in Devil's Reign when they're burning at the stake. I've seen other times where you have the image and he just like puts some fire in front of the camera, in front of the lens, and that's what's happening. And it's when you take all that together, it is an insane image.
So crazy.
It's so crazy to look at. It's fucking hilarious.
No one looked at it and goes, "God, that looks like shit. We need to work on this a little bit." Nope.
It's good. Put it in there. Duke tells the mob to shoot the dynamite. Madge pleads with Duke, who just says, "It's too late for me. Shoot!" And again, this looks so goddamn ridiculous due to the misproportionate CGI fire. Ugh. And then, judging by the size of the flames, Duke should be fucking dead.
He should be like
he should be full body burning, unable to do anything except for scream in agony based on the size of these flames. He would be charred dead.
But he is 30 feet tall now.
Which means the flames are like 60 feet. Also, how is the mob supposed to shoot the dynamite from outside the fucking building? All the dynamite is set up inside, like in crevices and broken walls. Like nothing was set up outside. They can't see the dynamite to shoot it. But they do. They shoot. They just start shooting. And the logic here doesn't fucking matter. The mob opens fire on the church. We see the PowerPoint image slide to the church with more CGI fire in the foreground. The mob leader allows for everyone to take cover. And then we see a giant CGI fireball explosion. But the church is fine. You see this big boom. But then when the fireball disappears, the church is fine. Church is fine. But then the very next shot, we see the top of the tower is now missing, and the tower is on fire. It's like they just like took a pair of scissors, cut the tower in half, cut paste, cropped off the image, put some CGI fire on there, and said it's good to go. So as the building burns in the fake CGI fire, Villager says, it's all over. To which Madge replies, it will never be over. Because, of course, the heart and brain of Frankenstein's monster can never be destroyed, is what she says. She then turns and just walks away. Cut to Madge walking down a dock, trying to look sad. She gets to the end of the dock, sits in a chair, and looks out across the water. And that's when Sharkenstein, which has somehow now demutated back into its original form, leaps out of the water and is about to kill Madge. Freeze frame, blackout, roll them fucking credits. That's Sharkenstein. I did have a big question, like, so Sharkenstein is also kind of like Mario in a way. Because, okay.
What?
Follow me here.
All right. Where are we going?
In a weird way. All right. So it gets hit with electricity and mutates into giant land shark, muscle-bound shark monster.
So it's like he got the mushroom.
But then he gets set on fire or blows up, and then he like goes back to like tiny Mario.
He got hit. He goes, goo, 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 goo.
And he goes back to regular original form Sharkenstein.
I like this logic.
How does that happen?
I like this.
Normally when you evolve. You evolve. You don't de-evolve. Nothing de-evolves. It's always evolve, grow.
Going forward,
you don't go backwards. Like, what? How'd that happen?
I like your Mario analogy there. It's good. I was wondering where you're going with this. I was like, hold on.
Yeah, I get it. But I was like, anyway, so that's Sharkenstein. All right, let's move on to favorite kills.
There can be only one favorite kill.
What do you got this week?
Fuck this movie. All the kills are just like, close-ups of like people going, "Argh!" and then a red filter, and like the shittiest like crunch sound.
Yeah,
it's like,
like they put a microphone down the floor and had somebody step on popcorn.
Yes. I guess my favorite kill. Is the fisherman who has just his feet left behind. Because at least that's kind of funny. They're all so shitty. They're so shitty. So shitty. That was my favorite kill.
Mine was Hoskins. Blows up a boat.
Yeah.
Rams it so hard, it blows up.
I guess my honorable mention would be Duke Hagar being 30 feet tall.
Yeah. Although I could also say Skip, because I fucking hate Skip. I'm just glad he died. But no, Hoskins, the boat explosion. Yeah. Because I was like, what? I erupted in laughter at that one. All right, so we actually had two different choices that one. That's nice, because a lot of times in these she movies, it's always the same one we end up picking.
But they're all so bad.
They are. They're all bad.
All so bad.
Yeah, they are.
It's like having a favorite one is kind of cheap. You know, it's like they're all shitty.
Like, would you rather eat goat shit or, sheep shit? Pick which one you want.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
This movie's melted my brain.
Yeah.
I checked out like 20 minutes ago. Just like,
All right, let's move on to the odds and ends.
Just when you thought it was over, here comes the odds and ends.
All right.
There's odds and ends?
There's some, yeah. Huh. Not much. It's going to go real fast. Real fucking fast. Ratings. IMDb gives it a 2.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, there is no official thermometer score, but it has a 12% audience score.
Ooh.
And Amazon gives it a 2.5 out of 5.
Yikes.
So that's even low for Amazon.
Yeah.
Plot keywords, which I've been skipping the last several weeks because for time it hasn't been much fun, but I don't really have much else for this. But there's only 4: shark, Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, and Nazi occultism are the 4 plot keywords for this movie.
Okay.
Trivia: Nothing. Couldn't find anything.
Darn.
Budget. Couldn't find anything.
$500.
$500. Yeah, maybe. So that's it. That's it for trivia or odds and ends this week. Let's move on to 5-star reviews.
At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Good versus bad, right versus wrong, light versus dark. In the end, when the dust settles, who will be left standing after Mortal Kombat combat?
There are 5-star reviews.
Oh, there were 5-star reviews.
Huh.
I forgot to write down the total amount of reviews and the breakdown of each one, but there are 5-star reviews.
Good God.
I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. From Glock36, gave it 5 stars for whoever got the financing for this one. Movie was phoned in, but if you like this type of flick, you gotta see it just to say you did. 5 stars. From Cassandra Morrison, awesome special effects, amazing acting, astounding script. There are just a few things you will not find in Sharkenstein. What you will not find is a nerdgasm of fun. What you will find is a nerdgasm of fun. I found this little movie to be absolutely delightful. Its tongue is firmly in its cheek, and if you watch it with that in mind, you can giggle your way through it. Jeff Kirkendall is my favorite mad scientist of the last 20 years, and the rest of the cast are a real treat. I came away convinced that it must have taken some really talented people to bring this matchup of Jaws, Frankenstein Conquers the World, and just all-around schlock and cheese together. Thanks to all involved for giving me an afternoon of much-needed silliness to counter current events. 5 stars. Oh, 5 stars. From Amazon customer, it writes, life-changing, wow. Another Amazon customer writes, I loved it because I'm in it. 5 stars. Perfect, but at the same time, they must be a little embarrassed because they didn't say who they were. There's no name, it just says customer, and they don't say who they played. I love it because I'm in it, but I'm not telling you who I was, but it's anonymous.
You've got to find out.
And last one from Guillermo, entitled There's a Sharkenstein in All of Us. And this is one we've seen before. A brilliant film which is meditative and nuanced in its presentation and allows for deep philosophical and theological thought. Truly a wonderment of our age and a reflection of the decadence of classical literature newly presented for a more modern and cultured audience to enjoy. 5 stars. Yeah. Lastly, 1-star reviews.
And how many did you write down of these?
I wrote down 3.
And if just off the top of your head, do you remember if there was a good amount of 1-star reviews?
There weren't a whole lot of reviews, period. It's like, so I don't remember the balance out. I really don't. I think you're probably, I don't remember. I don't want to say one because I could be wrong. From Angie plus Dominic writes, ugh. 1 star.
Preach.
Amazon customer, where do I begin? I don't have cable, so I watched this for free. I feel like I deserve to get paid, though. The graphics were ... just terrible. I can't believe this movie was even made, and what's up with the references to other Frankenstein movies? Ugh. Useless. You get it for free. Please, please, please don't watch it. Please. Even then, it's still a waste of your time. 1 star. And last from Neil B. Smith writes, another in a series of crazy shark movies. Sharkenstein features an insane storyline, porn quality actors, and some pretty bad special effects, but it does entertain. Had a lot of laughs with this one, but 1 star.
Huh.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
like, that's not really a 1-star review.
Like a 3.
That's a 3. That's a 2 or a 3 at least.
People are not utilizing the star system
they
correctly.
Are not. No, if you're saying it's pretty good, laughable, had fun with it, that's not a 1-star review.
Agreed.
That's at least a 3.
Right.
I'd say highest 3.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's that. That brings us to our final breakdown, our final thoughts. Aaron, take it away, man.
I've got no energy left. This movie just crushed my soul. I'm going to have to say it's so bad it's scary. I know it was poorly done, but if you're going to obviously it was poorly fucking done. The effects are atrocious. There's absolutely, it's stuff that you can download on your computer for like $10 for these effects. It's not hard. When I said it earlier, I really do think we could remake the movie. Now, I got to give them credit because they put in the effort and the time and they got the people. But I think we could do a better job. And that's saying something because we're not filmmakers. But holy shit. This
apparently
movie...
neither of these guys either.
But they did it. You know, and I God damn it, this movie was so bad. It was so bad. They didn't... I think the reason I'm not giving it so bad is good because, you know, I like these tongue-in-cheek kind of crap movies too, and I think that's the majority of our audience likes it too, is that they weren't self-aware enough. You know, they didn't have... The writing did not display the self-awareness of the shittiness of the movie. It didn't have a little bit more fun, a little more tongue... Like, yes, it's not even really that tongue-in-cheek because they played it so straight. They played it so straight that you're having Sharkenstein puppets flying around in the worst CGI you could ever imagine, and they played it so straight, but poorly, you know? Have a little bit more fun, be a little more wacky. That's what I would like to see. So bad it's scary. Don't waste your time.
I don't know where I stand on this.
I'm afraid. I was listening to what you were saying during the podcast, and I'm like, oh, man, I know where he's going.
There is a part of me that wants to say so bad it's good. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is not near the quality of So Bad It's Good as Terror of Bloodfart Lake. It is not that. Because that had better writing and it's more that was more self-aware and that was turned out well.
Yeah, and it was fun.
But there are parts of this movie that are so insane that I did end up saying, like, yeah, I kind of loved how bad it was and its awfulness and the ludicrousness of if that's even a word of what's going on, especially once the shark mutated into land shark with giant fucking arms.
Jossum.
I went to a whole nother level of glee. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna get insane. But I don't know if that's enough to save it to really worth saying so bad it's good because it is terrible. Everything, the acting is awful, the writing is awful, special effects are awful. Nothing makes sense really. There's so many plot holes. I am torn. I'm gonna probably say. So bad it's scary, but it does have, like, for some people who really want to be adventurous and really want to experience this insanity, watch it.
One of the worst movies probably we've ever seen.
One of, yeah.
Like it's on the levels
exactly,
of...
Like it's kind of the point where you watch it to say you've seen this insanity.
Kinda, yeah.
But it's terrible.
As far as like the special effects, some of the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Acting, some of the worst we've ever seen. Story, one of the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah. But the premise, like for a insane shark movie, it's got a good premise.
I'm about to come at you, bro. What are you talking about? Good premise. Frankenstein's undissectable brain and heart being put into a shark for Nazis to rule the world.
Listen to what you're saying. That's awesome. How are you not like, dude, I gotta see that. Come on. When you say that out loud, for what we do, that sounds awesome. How about that different than when we did a muck train? When I read you the back, like a group of American college kids get chased by a demonic only to make a train, where the train itself becomes demonic and kills them. That's almost the same thing. You have a train killing people. Here we have a shark with. I mean, how is that? And we loved a muck train.
I love that you're like, this is such a great premise. I'm like, oh my god. I'm not denying it's definitely unique, but great.
I'm not saying okay. I'll tone it back from great to unique and interesting.
It's definitely that.
I think it definitely could have been done better.
Yeah,
but
so you're saying so bad it's scary?
Yeah,
okay.
With an asterisk. There's enjoyable parts that are just because of its sheer insanity and shittiness that make it laughable and fun. But overall, it's definitely skippable. You're not going to really miss out. So bad, it's scary. So there you have it. About to come at me, bro. All right. Anyway, All right, guys, that takes care of it for this week. We'll be back later with another horrible horror movie. In the meantime, guys, watch more horror movies.
Yes.
And remember to always keep it tight.